Hello there, I'm Dana Cowley, your host for Charter Local Edition Northwest, and my guest today is Kennewick City Councilman Don Britton. Thank you for joining us.
Certainly, thank you for having me.
Tell us about the city's partnership with the Port of Kennewick and the new wine village.
Well, this has been a project in the making for over a decade now,
Yes.
and we signed an agreement, interlocal agreement about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It is an exciting time. We just did a groundbreaking in May of this year for the utilities, the water and the electricity and the sewer and so forth. So finally, after a decade of talking, this partnership that we had, this great partnership that we have with the Port of Kennewick, there's actually dirt being turned, and there's a definite end in sight to the completion, at least of phase one.
Yes, I know some folks probably originally thought, because we've talked about it for a while,
Yes.
that it just wouldn't happen. But now we're getting some momentum moving toward it actually coming into reality.
That is correct, and we have projects, the buildings are being put out to bid right now. By the end of summer, we're putting out to bid for the sidewalks and streetscape and so forth. And by the end of the year, we hope to have the effluent treatment out to bid as well. So for a final completion date in 2017.
It's wonderful. And so now you've served on council for a while now. What are your other top priorities?
Well, the priorities are, my priorities are what the council's are, and that is definitely economic growth and development, and to bring jobs and help diversify from the Hanford employment situation. We have 3 areas in the city of Kennewick. We have our Southridge area, we have our Vista Field Entertainment District area, and the Columbia Gardens, what we're talking about today. All 3 of those are vitally important to the success of Kennewick, and will bring jobs to our community and make it a destination city.
Anything in particular that you personally would like to see added to the city that's your passion as a council member?
Well, I'd like completion of this project down on Columbia Drive, because it is in the downtown Kennewick area. It's an area that sometimes is forgotten and has been forgotten over the years. So this is just phase one. We really believe, and I truly believe, that with our continued partnership with the port, that as this is developed, there's going to be new businesses and new facilities down in that area of the city. And so it really is exciting, and that is a goal of mine.
Now, you've invested some time and effort with the Association of Washington Cities, and you've recently advanced to being the secretary. How does that serve the citizens in the community?
Well, it adds visibility to the city of Kennewick. I've served on the board of the Association of Washington Cities for the last 3 years, and they alternate between east and west, and so this year was the eastern part of the Cascades for secretary, and that is an automatic, and next year the secretary becomes the vice president, and then the following year the vice president then becomes president. So it is a very visible position in the state. The Association of Washington Cities represent all 281 cities in the state of Washington, and the advocate for all the cities to the legislature and for the good of the cities. And so it's an opportunity to present our needs here in the Tri-City area on a statewide level. So it's very exciting. I'm honored to have been chosen by my fellow board members.
Well, and thank you for doing that for us. And you've also served as a reserve police officer. With the crimes that Kennewick residents are facing now, how does that help you get out in front of that?
Well, this was many years ago. I was a reserve police officer when our chief of police was just a road officer. So that's the learning experience that I learned from that is really to make decisions based on facts and try to take emotions out of that. And that served me well as I serve on the city council. But we have challenges here in our law enforcement. There's just been some challenges this week and incidents this week as gang prevention and gang activity continues to cause issues within our city. It gives me a perspective on what our law enforcement officers deal with, even though the situation was different 20, 25 years ago when I was reserved. The challenges ultimately are the same. They're just more amplified now.
Oh, thank you, Don. We appreciate you joining us and visiting with us. This is Don Britton, your Kennewick City Council member. I'm Dana Cowley. Thanks for watching Charter Local Edition Northwest.